Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Rotoworld Football Show on Tuesday, August 12th. I am Patrick Daugherty, joined, as always, by our friend, our colleague, our friend, our brother, our father, Denny Carter. Good man, Denny Carter.
A little bit
mid-August. That means the preseason is actually going. Unlike years past, players are actually playing in the preseason. A real big change in the past 2 or 3 seasons where almost every team over the weekend was featuring their starters for at least a series or two, some for a quarter or more. I think it helps get them sharper for the regular season, but it does mean injuries happen. We have several injuries to get through. We have several ongoing injuries to circle back to. Matthew Stafford and his back. Jordan Love, a non-throwing hand thumb injury. Jordan Love is just on that trajectory, Denny, like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Hopefully this does not really set him back for 2025. Tyjae Spears has been getting some hype. High ankle sprain. Jayden Reed, as always, getting hyped, as well as derision, walking boot on his left foot. Malik Nabers, always hurt with something. He's always hurt right now with something, a shoulder injury they're managing. Brandon Aiyuk getting a timeline. Darnell Mooney getting a more concerning timeline and more stuff if we had time to get to it. Then we're going to get to one of Denny's recent articles. He is filling the site with good content. That includes one on touchdown regression, where we might get to such names as Travis Kelce and Trey McBride. But Denny, we would be remiss if we began with anything other than, so listen, the Rams, they're not concerned about the Matthew Stafford injury. And you know why that is? It's because they have a trailer that they're putting him in. They just put him in this trailer, and apparently that's going to get him better. It looks exactly like an Airstream trailer, as many people have been pointing out. He gets in it, and then there's like energy.
Non-invasive technologies.
So tell people about how the Rams are trying to heal Matthew Stafford, which is, with one Twitter user joked, the realest technology of all time.
Yeah, right. So real. It's actually hard to comprehend. They're throwing their boy in the refrigerator and hoping he gets better. So here's what it is. It's called.
I just snorted on here.
It's okay. That means that's when you know the joke is good. It's called the Immortal Chamber. The Immortal Chamber. Not immortal yet.
I'm already completely out.
Immortal advertises itself as a, quote, wellness device that aims to optimize human performance and promote holistic health through a combination of non-invasive technology. So I saw the word wellness and I saw the word holistic, so I'm completely out on that. I mean, what are they doing, man? This guy's in a world of trouble. This team's in a world of trouble.
They're shooting lasers at our guy, and by lasers we mean red lights that look like lasers that don't do anything at all. And he's like putting on an eye mask and like laying on a slab. I can't really
look. I have to say, Sean McVay was asked about surgery for Stafford, and his response was not good. It was, he immediately went to like the passive voice. He pretended he didn't know anything about anything. Started talking about Jimmy Garoppolo. But Jimmy's got to lace him up. He's got to get ready, because I feel like Stafford's going to start week 1, obviously. How long is that going to last?
I don't know if I would say obviously at this point.
No, he's too tough. He's too tough not to start.
He's too tough.
I think we agree on that. It doesn't matter what kind of pain he's in. He's going to try. He's going to get hit once, and then they're going to be faced with a decision, and it's not good.
He got hit once in the divisional round against the Eagles and was seriously like spitting teeth. Like it was. That might have been honestly what reflared his back. I mean, that was a long time ago. It probably calmed down since then, but he ran once, and it seriously looked like it could have been the last hit he was ever.
It did kind of look like that. You're right. I remember being like, that might be it.
And so real quick too, our friend Hayden Winks, former colleague, excellent underdog football impresario, said, when is our guy going to just go to Germany and get the stimmies, like a real $100 million contract?
Are there no flights from LA to Germany?
This is not a joke. St. Louis, Missouri has a direct flight to Frankfurt, Germany. You can get to Germany if you want to, Matthew. You can get to Germany.
They're waiting for you.
They are the German doctors. Like, they cleared out their clinic. They canceled all their appointments because they've been waiting for Matthew Stafford.
They're waiting for Mr. Stafford to arrive so that they can do whatever they do, and you can come back and be 100%.
So I think I agree with you, Denny, that Stafford will be under center week 1, because that is like his entire identity is starting when they're good. When the season spirals out of control, then he finally shuts it down. Inarguably one of the toughest players of the 21st century. He will be out there. But let's say he gets hurt early in September, misses time early in September. Everyone is wondering, of course, not really about Matthew Stafford in fantasy. He's not getting drafted in quarterback leagues. Everyone is really worried about Puka Nacua, Davante Adams, 2 elite fantasy assets. Puka around wide receiver 6'7", Davante Adams about 10 spots later, wide receiver 16 or 17. How would those ADPs in your mind look? How should they look? If we found out today, we got to report Jimmy Garoppolo starting week 1.
Yeah.
Does ADPs even really gear down? Because when you and I are 2 of the biggest Jimmy G skeptics to ever live, it is Sean McVay, though. Jimmy G had a good spot start last year for Sean McVay.
He did.
Today, Jimmy G was in week 1. What would you think about Puka and Davante's ADPs?
God, I totally forgot that Jimmy Garoppolo looked amazing last week. Or not last week, last year in that spot start. Ugh. All right. So, yeah, Puka's going as wide receiver 4 right now.
Well, the ADP I'm looking at is wide receiver 7. He's in that range.
Okay.
And Davante is about 16, 17, 10 spots later.
Okay. So I would say that Puka needs to go to 10 or 10 to 12. And then Davante where's Davante right now for you?
I was muted and typing to you, Denny. He's wide receiver 16 or 17.
So he would need to go to 25, I think.
Really?
Maybe 23. I mean,
kind of drastic. I mean, remember Baker Mayfield went nuts after he had 1 day to learn the Rams playbook. Sean McVay is really that good.
Yeah, he is that good. The Jimmy G start from last year complicates things because I guess you can't totally dismiss him. The Puka thing, honestly, if you go 0 RB, you might be able to get him as your wide receiver 2 at some point.
No, Puka is your wide receiver 2?
I mean, because he would drop to wide receiver 8, 10.
Yeah, maybe, I guess. I think it should be more 2 to 3 spots instead of 7 to 8 spots.
Yeah.
Just because McVay really is that much of a wizard. I mean, Jimmy G, his thing is he'll get hurt soon if he were starting. I guess it's all this kind of circular, silly talk right now because we do seem to all be in agreement. He's going to start week 1. I will say, but the tough guys, you're tough until you're not. Or your toughness is often your downfall. He's played through so many injuries. Maybe he's finally created a situation where he just can't play through this one. He is going to get back surgery because the concern just wasn't that they were putting Stafford in the trailer and freezing him on Monday. The concern is that it was on a day where they had announced he was going to return to practice.
He was supposed to be fully, he was fully practicing, in pads, practicing. And
instead they were freezing him in carbonite.
Instead, he was in the fridge with the milk.
Yeah, he was frozen next to the celery, the milk. I'm trying to think of in my fridge, the leftover bacon. There's some leftover Indian food.
The chicken that might be good, but we're not sure.
The source of the smell we have not yet located in the fridge, but we're looking extremely powerfully into it. We're looking very powerfully into talking about Matthew Stafford every single show. That's just something you have to do this summer if you're talking about fantasy football. Something we had been beginning to talk about was Jordan Love because he was finally having a drama-free stretch of practice where last year, he was hurt all year. He was always missing practice time. He was either hurt or playing hurt. He only missed 2 or 3 games, but he played hurt for maybe double or triple that. We just wanted him healthy because when he was hurt last year, the hangover effect from the Malik Willis run-heavy thing, it was just too tempting for Matt LaFleur. But he loved the Willis approach. He kind of continued to employ it even after Love came back, but then they used the pick on the first-round receiver this year. We're starting to talk ourselves into they're going to be more pass heavy.
Yeah.
And he gets hurt again. It's not his throwing hand, thankfully. But I mean, thumb surgery, this is not good. This is not good for any player. No, it's bad. The thumb is very important for human beings in general, extremely important for football players. It's just another thing that it's probably lodging in Matt LaFleur's mind. Can I really trust this guy? So the reports, all of them say Jordan Love's going to be ready for week 1. But what should be the reaction to this with a guy we had been starting to kind of get excited about, have been creeping up those QB2 rankings, ADPs?
Yeah, it stinks. I mean, I was, getting very warm to Jordan Love and best ball because he's so easy to stack, right, with his receivers because no one really wants his receivers except for Matthew Golden, kind of.
Oh, no one wants you just search best ball one time, and you'll find all 200 of them just arguing and screaming about Jayden Reed, and you will even still find people talking about the Wixman, Dontavian.
Oh, I'll do a whole show about Dontavian Wicks. I'll do it. Don't test me.
Don't test you. And not to mention like there's 7 tight ends, Savion Williams. So people were talking about it. Now they're concerned.
Anyway, what do we it stinks. This whole thing from last week about Jordan Love wants to run more, that ain't happening. Come on.
Absolutely not.
And honestly, Packers fans should not want it to happen.
No. Fantasy
managers should not want it to happen. Okay, so we all need to get on board and say, Jordan Love, this running thing, this daydream that you have, it's over. Like you get hurt every time you do anything. You need to just sit in the pocket, avoid sacks, and throw accurately to your guys in the middle of the field. And that's it. That's the whole thing. I mentioned when Crane was on a couple weeks ago that the Packers, were really run heavy last year, but the year before, 2023, I suppose, was
we'll fact check that.
Could we get some interns on this,
please?
Producer Tim, could you get on that? Anyway, they were pass heavy for a lot of that season. So it's not like they made a commitment years ago to be like Jordan Love is a game manager. He's going to be handing it off. That happened last year. I think partly because of what you're saying, Pat, is that Malik Willis ran the run heaviest offense we've ever seen, perhaps in this century, I should say. And they were like, this works. Like, let's keep doing this. Let's protect Jordan. So this guy, he's got to get better as far as like avoiding injuries. How do you break your left thumb?
I don't know.
They said he broke it on it on the helmet of a Jets defender. What happened exactly?
What? Is he following through with his left hand?
What happened? Keep that thing pinned to your side. What do you? Right. Did he have to shovel it with his left hand or something? What's happening?
That's wild.
Anyway, I think you could still take super flex wise. He's going to drop. You take him. You hope that the Packers get back to at least like a balanced offense this year.
I think I had been foolishly starting to dream about Jordan Love kind of getting back into that mid-career Russell Wilson thing he had going in 2023, where he wasn't super high attempts, but the attempts he did get, he was maximizing with insane efficiency, chunk gains, a really high touchdown rate. That's kind of what we were excited about last year, the potential he was maybe a model breaker, just like Russ was, because when Russ was an elite fantasy quarterback, it was not on elite volume. And that was kind of the vision I had for Jordan Love in fantasy that, as we just laid out, didn't pan out last year for a variety of reasons, most of them injury-related. And it's just now it's like, Jordan Love has officially become a player where you can't really be focusing on the best-case outcomes. Maybe it's still within the range of outcomes, but most likely is now just something like we saw last year. And that will be valuable in fantasy for spot starting purposes. He can keep his guys valuable, but QB1, no one was even really depending on QB1 before. Let me be clear, except for maybe me. But that pipe dream is now come and gone for Jordan Love. But we'll keep hyping Matthew Golden because it's been like final destination in the Packers receiver core. Everyone is injured except for Matthew Golden, who, 2 weeks ago, I think the universal opinion of the show, Matthew Golden never been good.
And now, and it's because Jordan Love got in front of a microphone. Shout out to Kevin Clark for just ruining it for everybody.
So we'll see what's going on there with Matthew Golden. Another guy we've been starting to hype, Tyjae Spears, for the second year in a row. Brian Callahan's coaching staff. One of the more interesting talking points I've still ever heard from a coaching staff, where every time Tony Pollard and Tyjae Spears would come up, they're the same guy.
Same guy. We see him as replaceable.
We see them as interchangeable. He used the word interchangeability last year. They were kind of sticking with that this summer. Tyjae caught a lot of passes last year. Tony Pollard was better another year removed from that broken leg, Denny, but he was still not peak Tony Pollard. Kind of just lending credence to the idea he lost something with that broken leg. There wasn't another gear for him to take. And Tyjae Spears was just a young player that we were getting a little more incrementally excited about. But now, high ankle sprain.
Yeah.
August 10th, bad news.
Right.
Week 1 is very viable. But again, he's not on the field now, keeping himself lodged in the coaching staff's mind. That's what it's so important for these guys You need to be out there. You need to be making them take notice of you every time you do something. Even if you're already a player in the rotations. Tyjae Spears already had work. But in order to get more work, he needed to be impressing every day. Now, at least 2 or 3 weeks, he won't be doing that.
Remember our rule on the Rotoworld football show about high ankle sprains. If the team immediately admits it's a high ankle sprain, it's a high damn ankle sprain. That thing's high. Okay, it's near the thigh at that point. He was carted off. I think just for everybody.
As we know, they cart you off with if you're thirsty.
They cart you off if you got to go pee. You're right.
He was thirsty.
Right. If you need some Gatorade, get on the cart. I think this makes Pollard, for me, the way I draft my teams, pretty dang appealing. Because you look at his, it's not pretty. It's not. I'm not getting prime Adrian Peterson here, but Pollard, if you look at his usage when Spears was out last year for various reasons, you have a game week 4 against Miami. He saw 24 touches. The next week against the Colts, he saw 20. The week after against the Bills, he saw 21, then 24, then 22. 20 plus touches in that part of the draft. That's pretty sweet. It's hard to find that in that range. Is Spears going to be hurt all year? Hopefully not, for his sake and for the.
I thought you were about to say hopefully. Come on, man.
No, this is the thing. I'm torn right now because I've been drafting a lot of Cam Ward in best ball, and I've been throwing Spears in there as the potential pass catcher in the Tennessee backfield. Well, that dream shattered for now. But the head start now that Tony Pollard has on claiming that RB1 spot, it's real, and we have to pay attention to it. And look, if you get your running backs early, what interest do you have in Tony Pollard? Honestly, forget about it. But depending on how you draft your team, he could look pretty good.
Just really good takes all around. Where Spears had been a guy who had been getting exciting to draft, just because he really liked the tenor of the coaching staff comments, and he was kind of secretly useful last year. And Tony Pollard was just kind of what would you say you do here? RB 26, 27, that range, so just out the top 24 of the RB2 land, but. A lot of times with injuries this time of year, I feel like that isn't necessarily they shouldn't lead to huge swings or spikes or decreases in ADP. But a lot of times injuries just serve to make an existing ADP a lot more reasonable than it was. Yeah. Whereas before, that RB26 was kind of high for Tony Pollard. Now it just makes it seem much more reasonable in that, he's going to be at least a 60% snap player, maybe even 70%. That could maybe go down, but it's less likely because the guy who's going to steal those snaps is now not practicing, maybe conditioning in September instead of stealing work from Tony Pollard, where it just makes his ADP make a lot more sense to me. Whereas Tyjae Spears now, with an ADP that could have probably easily climbed in the top 40, maybe even the top 36 at running back, now he just seems much more like if I say Tyjae Spears' ADP off the top of your head, you would say RB40. It makes them both more reasonable and realistic to me, this injury.
Yeah, I like that take. I will say, Pollard in the part of the draft where Pollard's going, you have to pick if you're set on running back in that part of the draft. If you need a running back, you're looking at Pollard, Brian Robinson, Caleb Johnson, Isaiah Pacheco, RJ Harvey. Now, I would say Harvey.
Pollard.
I would say Harvey is the best long-term bet. If you have the luxury of,
is he really, or is this just something fancy, man? Is this just the story we're telling ourselves?
No, the story is
have the Broncos said anything good about RJ Harvey this summer?
Yes, they've said several things that are good, but also unless they have completely backtracked on all of their raving about Harvey that they did pre-draft and then immediately post-draft, unless he, I guess, proved to be just a disastrous running back in training camp, they're going to give him a chance. And I don't believe that J.K. Dobbins is the kind of guy who's just going to hold down this job for the whole season. Now, I would say Harvey over Pollard. Other than that, I have to go Pollard over all those guys.
I just get the fear that Harvey is going to be like Pierre Thomas extraordinaire, which would still be valuable in fantasy. But his ADP did come down, actually, from the post-draft mania, too. I feel like I haven't been hearing quite enough on RJ Harvey, just to be honest. I know he got a little run with the starters. That was nice.
Look,
second round pick. I would hope that happens.
I just wait. I mean, you see J.K. Dobbins as an immovable object in the RB1.
No, I see him as the guy coaches absolutely love, as a guy they apparently had to have and went out and got. A guy too in Sean Payton mean, he had Alvin Kamara, and even the whole time he had Alvin Kamara, he insisted on a running back committee. This is kind of the way I see this. And basically, RJ Harvey needs to be Alvin Kamara right off the bat to be like a true RB2 he's being drafted as. I mean, that's the truth. That really is. He needs to be. Not like peak. He needs to be like what Alvin Kamara was as a rookie, though, for that ADP to really.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I hear you. That makes sense. Caveat on Harvey: you're in a standard league, even half PPR, a lot less appealing than in PPR.
That is a good caveat. Good time to take a break. We will be right back after this. Tune in to NBC Sports Now for all the biggest stories of sports beginning at 7 a.m. Eastern with PFT Live, followed by the Dan Patrick Show, the Dan Lebitard Show, Stu Gatz, Fantasy Football Happy Hour, and Chris Sims Unbuttoned. The NBC Sports Now channel is available on Peacock, the Roku channel, Samsung TV Plus, and more. Visit NBCSports.com/now for more details. Listen, unless RJ Harvey is peak Alvin Kamara, it's a horrendous ADP.
Right. Like one of the most like productive PPR backs in history.
I'm just saying, we know Sean. There's not some coaches like, man, what are they gonna do? Like, we know how Sean Payton uses his backfield. He uses two backs. He has one who catches passes. He has one who does all the dirty work.
So can I say that it's actually good that Harvey was listed as RB5 on the initial
you can actually. Yes, yeah. You can.
Because Sean Payton loves to put his rookies through hell, right? And especially rookie running backs. He's like, you got to earn it, kid. He did the same thing with Kamara. I remember this happening to Kamara. And as a fantasy community, we were like, yeah, that kid's done. Like, we forget about him. And then week 1 came, and he just blew the roof off it. And you're like, oh, okay. Well, I see what you did, Sean. I'm not falling for it again.
Not falling for it. We probably should have talked about this one right after we talked about Jordan Love. I kind of forgot about this. Jayden Reed, though, he's becoming a fell for it again superstar. Jayden Reed, where Jayden Reed, man, let's talk about a weird, like, tortured narrative, fantasy football story, whatever you want to call it, where through 2 seasons in the NFL, he has 14 touchdowns and 1,700 yards receiving. That's really, really good.
Yeah.
Any way you slice it. It's just been really inconsistent production. The role has been really inconsistent. It's like you never know where he is in the depth chart. We knew that he was really pushing to be that clear-cut number 2 this summer. But now he's walking around Lambeau Field with a boot on his left foot. And Coach Matt LaFleur is being cagey about his Week 1 status. Matt LaFleur, not cagey about Jordan Love's Week 1 status, being cagey about Jayden Reed's Week 1 status. Does this injury materially change anything? Or does it just highlight like an existing ADP that was maybe creeping up? Just highlights that shouldn't get any higher because this is a risky guy. He was always a risky guy. He's always going to remain a risky guy. Does the foot injury change anything for Jayden Reed?
I don't think so. I'm not completely out on Jayden Reed because the coaches and the GM for Green Bay, they seem confident that he will be ready to go.
You didn't try to say Gutekunst again. You tried to say that in one of our VODs, and it's like, well, we'll be doing another take.
I muddled my way through it.
You did.
I didn't even need a second take. I said good and Kunst anyway. So Reed is supposed to play more and/or exclusively a slot role this year, according to all the beats.
Sign me up.
Yeah, I mean, sounds good. The Packers don't run a ton of 3 receiver sets, but
that's fine. I'll kick outside in the 2 receiver sets.
No, I don't think that's the plan.
Yeah, you're right. That's Romeo Dobbs exists.
I think that's Dobbs. I think it's Wicks. I think it's anybody
Dobbs.
But Reed.
That's Dobbs' season.
And of course Golden, who greatest Green Bay receiver of all time already.
Should be in the first round.
So Reed was good last year. He was top 10 in yards per route run from the slot. So he could be productive, in that role. There's just a lot of known unknowns, as one Secretary of Defense once said.
It is an excellent documentary, by the way.
Well, nevertheless,
it doesn't humanize them. Don't get me wrong.
so Reed is, are the Packers going to pass more? That's a question. Is he only going to play slot? That's a big question. Is Golden the clear wide receiver 1, or is it like the 1A, 1B situation between him and Reed? Is Love going to play? I mean, there's just so much we don't know, but Reed does seem like a good player when healthy. It's just he's never quite healthy.
All the variables you just laid out are why he's currently around wide receiver 44. That'll probably drop lower. I bet more to like 46 to 50 range. But just right now, in a vacuum, you're not in a draft room. You're in a vacuum sealed ship hurtling through space.
Well, you're in the refrigerator.
Yeah, you're in the Stafford fridge,
okay,
as it's being called. Wide receiver 44, Jayden Reed. Are you clicking draft or are you clicking on someone else?
Someone else, probably.
Oh, I'm smashing draft, and I've never been in on Jayden Reed.
Wow,
ever, because he's never been good, except for he's been really good.
Tell me who's around there.
Who is around Jayden Reed at wide receiver 44? Denny Carter. I'm glad you asked. Wide receiver 43 is Matthew Golden. 42 is Jordy Addison. 41 is Jacoby Myers, Jack, as I call him. Then below, Josh Downs, Khalil Shakir, Chris Godwin, Jayden Higgins.
Good Lord. I'd take all those guys.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I know.
I mean, Josh Downs, again, as Kyle said, you're out of the club, by the way. You're out of the Josh Downs club.
Come on.
Just get out.
First of all, I founded the club.
Well, now you have been voted out.
That's actually not true. Crane and Kyle founded the Downs Club when he's a rookie. Then I cooed them and became the president his second year. Now I'm being excommunicated.
The coup doer has been cooed.
Yeah. It's quite a reversal of fortune.
Yeah.
There is so much I'm tired of all the intrigues in the Josh Downs Club.
Yeah, well, now you're out because you take Jayden Reed over Downs. Come on.
Actually, I would. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would. I mean, come on, man. Like, listen, we tried to pretend about the Colts quarterback situation for a little bit.
Okay.
There are no good outcomes.
I forgot about quarterbacks.
There are no good outcomes in this Colts quarterback thing. Like, we tried to tell ourselves this story. It doesn't matter. It does not. There's no happy endings in this Colts skill core, I would say, this year.
Not even Riley Leonard, unfortunately.
No, unfortunately, no. Yeah, but you're right. Jayden Reed not really looking too hot compared to his ADP competition. I guess we'll move on. Malik Nabers managing a shoulder injury. I say managing because he's making it sound like basically these are planned days off. Giants media, they're kind of trying to stir it up. Like, oh, this really got my attention. I don't know. A guy missing a training doesn't really get my attention that much. A guy missing a training camp practice. Some of the Giants media was, quote, freaking out.
Yeah, they were.
Are you freaking out? I'm not at all. It's a planned day. It's August 12th. If you have like a hangnail, they hold you out on August 12th.
We can be quick about this. I'm not freaking out. I would like it better if Malik Nabers were not constantly dinged up. That's one thing that I would like better. And also, I saw a stray report this morning that it might be his toe situation.
Yeah. There's talk of that. Yeah.
And so it's shoulder, it's toe, the toe that he's been struggling with for 4 to 5 years, depending on when it started in college.
We'll just chop that off soon. It'll be fine.
Do something with the toe. But it makes me a little nervous. But boy, oh boy, like. The fact that Jackson Dart, and we mentioned this in the video on demand we did on Dart recently or today, Dart was 9 for 11 within.
Well, the reason, hold on, time out. The reason you're getting excited about Malik Nabers is Jackson Dart.
No, I'm saying that he's serviceable as a short area thrower.
Yeah, he's not the starter.
He will be.
Next question.
He will. I mean, as soon like Russell Wilson's the Giants are going to get down by 10 points, and Russell Wilson's going to come apart.
It is abundantly clear Brian Daboll is going to be so over it the first time they're down by multiple scores.
And Daboll was really quite enthusiastic about Dart's performance the other day.
The Giants are following to a T the trajectory. You're really brave early in the summer. The kid, they always just call him the kid. Doesn't matter if they're the number one over. The kid is sitting 17 games. And then like early July, the dead season's like, actually, the Giants were really impressed with the kid's off season. Really like this. Still zero chance that he's starting before week 12, but also there's a chance he's starting before week 12.
It changes fast.
And then by the middle of training camp, they're like, yeah, the veterans sucked all along. We knew this.
Yes.
We weren't being
they always give up the ghost at the last minute. Be like, yeah, actually, this whole offseason, it was pretty clear.
Russell Wilson, too, is like Russell Wilson's like the second they sit you down in the interrogation chair, they just tell you immediately where they hid the gold.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't like they don't ever even try to pretend with Russell Wilson.
Just as an aside, this is why I appreciate Nick Underhill's reporting on the Saints QB battle, if you want to call it that. Is that like, unlike previous, or even current situations with quarterbacks competing for the job, he's just straight up like, hey, the new guy, Shuck, he stinks. Like he's real bad. Rattler's not great, but he's way, way, way better than Shuck. I appreciate that honesty.
Yeah, he's way better in practice, which doesn't matter at all. They're equally bad in games, I would say, will be the outcome of the Saints. Spencer Rattler, this is his whole thing, is deceiving coaches and media members.
I still think that he's clearly the best option.
Well, then they're clearly the best option to go winless since the Hugh Jackson.
No, I hear you, and I'm not a Rattler guy, but Shuck shouldn't have even been drafted, period.
Spencer Rattler, who you do not support. Spencer Rattler should have also not been drafted, just like Ian Book before him.
Oh, yeah.
The Saints should maybe, just like Jake Haener, the Saints should maybe draft a quarterback who deserves to be drafted.
Jake Haener was like 26 when he was drafted. Same thing with Shuck.
Yeah.
Haener played forever at Fresno State. He's playing like Southwestern Arizona Tech at 2 a.m. on ESPN 5. Like, what made them think he could be good?
You're squinting at your TV. Is Fresno State playing Tijuana College? And they're a Mexican college football team?
Right.
It doesn't matter. Jake Haener's lighting them up.
And they only have 10 players?
Yeah, I'm really excited now. But yeah, the Saints, you call it a QB battle. I call it more a QB depression. San Francisco 49ers, Brandon Aiyuk, will he or won't he play early in the season? Will he or won't he avoid the reserve pup list, a.k.a. Not be guaranteed to miss 4 games? Kyle Shanahan, and I've had new thoughts on this Kyle Shanahan thing since we recorded a VOD on this topic. Kyle Shanahan's like, I could return around week 6. And at first I thought, wow, Shanny's being like unusually forthright. And he's actually like saying a date. I think he's just being Shanny by another name now. And he's throwing out like a misleading date. And he's going to claim later, I was just, guessing. Why would you even report that? Like, why would you take that seriously? It was like clearly I was just like guessing. And I almost feel like he's just going to confuse the situation further. But we now have a over-under for his return, week 6. Does this change anything, Denny, with how we approach drafting Brandon Aiyuk? Should he even be drafted?
In 12-team leagues where you can start 3 or 4 receivers, I think he should be drafted at some point. He needs to drop.
I mean, it's a 12-team home league. We're really going to tell people burn half of the regular season on a guy who's not even going to play. Then when he comes back, they're like, well, he hasn't played in a year. So he's only playing 30% of the snaps right now. He's only running 15% of the routes or whatever. I am almost verging towards like, yeah, whatever. If you're swimming with the sharks, then you got to hunt for value anywhere you can find it. Draft Brandon Aiyuk.
Can I tell you?
Can we really look at our friends, neighbors, and family members and tell them to draft Brandon Aiyuk?
I can with a clear conscience. I can tell you this is the plan. This is the plan for Brandon Aiyuk. Now, if you take receivers up top in your draft and you're by the 10th, 12th round, you're set at receiver, right? Like more than set. You're George Pickens is your wide receiver 4, you're set, right?
All right.
You go ahead, you take Aiyuk, you put him on your bench, and then you can switch him over to IR, your IR spot, and you just wait and you wait and you wait. You activate him.
You can't wait because your top 3 running backs are all on IR by week 4.
Sure. I mean, okay. Then that ruins the whole plan. But you can stash him and just wait. And then maybe, hey, by week 10, some of your receivers that you love so much that got you there, they're dinged up. You can insert Aiyuk. That's the plan.
Oh, yeah, because Kyle Shanahan, who loves Brandon Aiyuk, just can never stop talking glowingly about the guy. That he turned into a number 1 receiver and then paid like it, and then apparently resented everything that had to do with that. So first, he's not going to hit the ground running when he comes back. That was my long way of saying.
No,
that.
Absolutely not. No.
So what's the point then? Week 10, this team is going off in week 10 with Brandon Aiyuk in my wide receiver 3 spot.
Bro,
hell yeah!
If you desperately need him like before then you're finished anyway, right? But if you have, it's a luxury pick. Be like, oh, Brandon Aiyuk, the guy who had 1,344 yards 2 years ago. I have him as a guy.
We're talking about 2 years in the year
2023.
2 years might as well be 40 years ago.
Okay, 40 years ago, Brandon Aiyuk had had a lot of yards on few receptions. He's hyper efficient. I think it's kind of a cool little thing. If it doesn't work out, you can blame me. But otherwise, if it does work out, please also credit me.
My voice kind of hurts after doing that.
That got loud.
Sorry, did that hurt your ears?
No, it didn't actually. I think the StreamYard system like drowned it out.
Well, that's good. I'm not drafting Brandon Aiyuk. I mean, come on. Whatever. Yeah, if you're about exposure to every player in baseball, then you do it.
Completely dismiss. This is nuts.
The fantasy football regular season lasts like 2.5 months.
Oh no! You're talking from a baseball bro standpoint.
No, I'm not. Baseball stashing works in baseball. Let me be clear. So stashing actually works in fantasy baseball. Fantasy football, I've never seen anything work less than stashing players who aren't elite.
I'm not.
It just doesn't work.
Aiyuk's really good.
He used to be. That was one knee and one acrimonious contract extension.
Right.
He didn't even play. After they extended him, they like barely played him last year. You remember he wasn't practicing.
I know. He was wearing the wrong socks one time, and Shanahan was furious. Let me be clear. I'm not going into every draft saying, I got to get me Brandon Aiyuk. I'm not doing that. Okay. I don't even know if I want Juwan Jennings at this point. The guy hasn't practiced all year.
That's a weird one. What's going on there?
But Aiyuk could return to a receiver core that's just him and maybe Jennings and Ricky Pearsall, who's not good. I mean, come on.
That's a really good point, that it's just not an impressive group, and they could need Brandon Aiyuk desperately. That I have to acknowledge there are genuine upside outcomes with Brandon Aiyuk. I will.
You got there.
Eventually. I've calmed down. No longer so. Apparently, I was what you would call triggered. By what you said.
Jesus, you were.
Guess what? Some people might be triggered if they drafted Darnell Mooney after I hyped him up, because now they're not even guaranteeing he'll be back for week 1, Denny. No. I think this is kind of coaches being circular too, and so I don't know. Could be tomorrow, it could be November. I haven't really ruled out Darnell Mooney playing week 1, but they're no longer like even putting him with a timeline. Denny, is Darnell Mooney draftable right now?
Just for context, Falcons head coach Raheem Morris said, "Look, everybody relax. Darnell Mooney is going to play this season." I know. So that, and then they said, any more specifics? He said, that's not, that's above my pay grade. That's not, I don't know.
My guy, head coaches, I know. The act is getting a bit thin. We know, it's fine. You can admit that you can admit you just don't want to tell us. That's fine.
Right. It's so obnoxious, honestly.
Sean McVay acting like he has no clue what's going on with I don't know, man.
Sean McVay starts waxing philosophical when you ask him about Stafford's back at this point.
I didn't go to Johns Hopkins, man. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know about no back muscles or refrigerators. Or
I've never heard Sean McVay use that kind of grammar in my entire life until just now.
Right. Who are we talking about?
Darnell Mooney.
Darnell Mooney. Okay. I don't care about Darnell Mooney at all. I don't even look at him on the board.
Yeah, that's unfortunately the right. I was real dumb to ever look at him on the board.
Look, the Falcons are never going to throw the ball this year.
Well,
they're never going to.
Time out. This is Michael Penix Jr. This guy ain't reading all that. Come on, he's passing the ball. He's an attempts or a QB guy. He's throwing the ball.
Not last year.
Yeah, well, Corey, he's under duress, thrown in for the 3 most important games. He's gonna actually listen to the coaching staff then. But this guy is gonna sling the ball all over the yard.
The Falcon, I say Falcons never throw. Mooney, London dominates targets. Pitts doesn't see anything. Mooney doesn't see anything. Nothing else matters except for London.
Yeah, darn it, I apologize that I ever implied that drafting Darnell Mooney might be a good idea. Unless they say he's back for week 1, then it's back to immediately being a good idea. Real quick, Denny, Jalen Wright, we'd been excited, maybe cleaning up those short yardage touches behind Devin Achane, who was unfortunately not very good at that last year. Then Alexander Mattison was coming in and getting some hype, very bearish indicator for Jalen Wright. Alexander Mattison, very unfortunately, has suffered a season-ending neck injury, the most concerning body part you would hear for a football player. It seems like he's going to be okay, but he's not playing football in 2025. Jalen Wright, good for 0 RB builds again, or has there not been enough hype? Has there been too many negative indicators?
Yeah, Wright was stuffed, I believe, 4 times at the goal line against the Bears in the preseason.
Also known as Quattro.
And
sorry. I don't know.
Dreaded Quattro stuff.
The Quattro stuff. Oh no! Yeah, they're blaring that up on the jumbotron.
Quattro stuff. Quattro.
Yeah. So.
Man. What's good is that they didn't give Achane a chance, at those touches. No, I'm kidding. We want that. We also, the Dolphins actually resorted with Tua under center when that happens. They actually were pretty pass heavy in the red zone last year. So that could be good for Achane, getting those dump offs. I know we're just talking about Wright, and yes, for zero RB purposes, Wright's fine. It seems like he would be the guy if Achane gets dinged up this year. Okay. We know that going in. But Achane's PPR upside, I think, is outstanding. Like
it is.
We're talking like a guy who, depending on game script, could be catching like 5-6 passes a game.
I think HM Machine Go Burr is becoming a more and more like. I think people were a little reluctant to run that back from last year, even though it mostly worked. It was not like the most pleasant ride, Devin Achane, RB1, whatever last year. It ended up mostly working. I think people have been a little reluctant to do that again. But, man, it's starting to look like a pretty sensible course of action. And we're looking very strongly into rostering Devin Achane everywhere.
And he makes, I think, great for like a hero RB build if you want to just go with one elite guy and then wait until it gets really bleak and you have Aaron Jones as your RB2.
Very quickly, Achane or Bucky?
Oh, that's such a tough one. God, I still am on the Bucky side.
I'm on the Bucky side as well. We like to try new things. We did the Achane thing. Next year, it's onwards and upwards. That includes for the show. We'll be right back after this. The Premier League is back with a blockbuster weekend live on NBC and, of course, streaming on Peacock. It begins Saturday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern when the Wolverhampton Wolves host Man City. Then Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, Man U takes on Arsenal. Man U trying to come back from the depths of humiliation in 2025. And Arsenal trying to not get second for one time ever. We'll see what happens in the 2025-26 Premier League on NBC and Peacock. We'll see what happens with the regressing touchdowns, Denny. One of the stickiest concepts in fantasy football is that touchdowns are not sticky. Guys either had too many of them the previous year, they either had too few of them. Never do they just have just the right amount of them. Except for Mike Evans, always has just the right amount of touchdowns. He's the one guy who never regresses in a negative or positive fashion. Who are some touchdown regression candidates from a great article you have up on the website? You should check out the whole thing. But I think we're going to go through almost all of them. Who was the first who on there? Some podcasts, they talk about Jalen Wright. Other podcasts, whenever they announce new albums and stuff like that. Who are we talking about? Did you not hear about this? I saw you like a deer in headlights.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Taylor Swift went on the Travis Kelce podcast and announced a new album.
Oh, really? Oh,
yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go.
Under a rock, Mr. Denny Carter. You heard it here first.
He's still doing it. My daughter will be happy for that. Speaking of Kelce and Swift, Kelce's a touchdown regression candidate. I take no pleasure in saying that because, man, it would really be something if everybody checks out on Travis Kelce this year and then he goes on a touchdown tear. Last year, the peripherals fell off the face of the earth, of course, for Travis Kelce. He turned only 3 of his 25 red zone targets into touchdowns last year. He managed 2 touchdowns on 10 inside the 10 targets. I noted in the piece that his red zone role, Travis Kelce's red zone role, has not changed all that much, or at least didn't change in 2024. Kelce commanded a 27% red zone target share in 2024. That was an increase from the previous 2 seasons. He just didn't really do much with the opportunity. Now, could that be because he's washed? Yeah, of course it could. But I think that you would concede that Patrick Mahomes will not stop looking for Travis Kelce where it counts the most, which is primarily, inside the 10.
And 2, I think another reason it could regress in a positive fashion again this year is just, I think they're probably not happy about that for one. And then I also think there could finally be like a reimagination of the Travis Kelce role where they finally accept he's not this dominant middle of the field freelancer. And he's really the guy, if you need to move the chains, if you need a rugged catch in the red zone, that should be Travis Kelce's role. The role is no longer, it's 3rd and 11, like go make some magic happen 15 to 20 yards down the field. The role is going to be moving the chains and I think maybe scoring touchdowns. Only 8 touchdowns over the past years. That's just absurd for Travis Kelce. I totally agree with you. That should be back on the up and up this year.
And now I don't think outrageous touchdown numbers are on their way. Andy Reid said that Kelce's snap share would be similar in 2025 as it was last year. That's probably good news considering that Brock Bowers was the only tight end in the league who ran more pass routes than Travis Kelce.
Oh, very interesting. Travis Kelce, touchdown regression candidate in a positive fashion. The next one in a negative fashion. Everyone knows Trey McBride just can't keep scoring 2 touchdowns every year. That total's got to come way down. But you didn't get the joke I was making. Sorry.
Because Kyler bad.
Yeah, no, and just like 2, Trey McBride just can't keep scoring 2. No, he can't keep scoring only 2 touchdowns. Maybe the flukiest touchdown total I've ever seen in my life for Trey McBride last year. Everyone knows this number has to come up. Can you tell them why it has to come up other than just duh?
Yeah. By the way, this came with Kyler Murray basically promising to pepper McBride in near the goal line for the final month of the season, and it's still barely. And let's just real quick just take a moment.
I know I was starting to laugh. What I'm laughing about.
To appreciate Kyler Murray in the preseason game last weekend. He tried to do a no-look pass. And it honestly was the single worst no-look pass anyone's ever seen. And on any level of football, high school, college, pros, he threw it directly to a defender. The only person near that other defender was
insanely bad.
Another defender. There were 2 defenders in the area. What is this guy doing?
You've got to look this up if you haven't seen it. No one. It was that old tweet, where the skateboarder gathers everyone around to watch him do a trick, and then he doesn't have any clue what to do.
Yep.
And Kyler got the whole stand. Hey, be quiet for a second. Be quiet. You got to check this out. And then he threw the single worst interception anyone's ever thrown in his life. But we digress.
Check that out. Anyway, yeah. So we're talking about 2 touchdowns for Trey McBride last year on 147 targets and 111 receptions. It just seems impossible. He doesn't have much target competition. I'm not really counting Marvin Harrison in that group.
You knew that I had briefly muted myself, and even I got pushed back. I'm like, come on, man.
No, stop with that.
Marvin Harrison's not target competent. We have to occasionally be serious on this show.
I'm being serious. The guy's just running sprints on the outside. I mean, and that's for fantasy. I don't care about that. So anyway, but here's another thing. McBride had a 33% red zone target share last year. That was the 3rd highest in the NFL. Not 3rd highest among tight ends, 3rd highest overall. So they do seem to want to get him the ball near the end zone. You can't really say the same for Brock Bowers last year. I mean, that'll change probably, but they weren't really giving him much opportunity where it counts. McBride got the opportunity. It just didn't happen. It's going to happen this year. I mean, a little bump, and we're talking about just a crazy statistical season.
Only 2 things you're kind of worried about is maybe Trey McBride's just a finesse player, and there's a reason it was hard to get him the ball in the red zone. And maybe he's just not finesse. You can't really be finesse and catch over 100 passes, but maybe he's just not that rugged red zone guy that you got to be to score 8 or 9 touchdowns. That seems unlikely to me, though. Other than Kyler Murray's just never been a high touchdown percentage guy either. Kyler does not do his best work in the red zone. No. Kyler's actually one of the more difficult quarterbacks to watch in the NFL in the red zone amongst QBs who are good. Kyler amongst good QBs is one of the rougher red zone watches. Yeah. But I mean, basically the guarantee of the century is that Trey McBride will probably at least double his touchdown total, probably at least triple it. And 8 to 10 is quite possible as an outcome.
Double digits is in the range. Yeah.
Double digits is definitely in the range. Geno Smith, your 3rd touchdown regression candidate. I'm assuming this is in the positive fashion. A very low touchdown rate his final 2 years in Seattle. Why is it going to be a higher in, I almost said Oakland, Las Vegas?
Yeah, right. Vegas, Oakland, wherever they play this year, it'll be better, I think.
Sacramento, the Sacramento A's, folks.
We're going to look into that. So his touchdown rate last year in Seattle was 3.5%. Career low. I mean, just an incredibly inefficient offense overall.
Be a career high for Kyler Murray, probably.
There's no way to find out, but we'll go with that. Geno's 2024 touchdown rate was below his career rate and way below his 5.2% rate from 2023 when he was good.
That was one of the flukier high touchdown rates.
5.2 is not asking a lot.
For Geno Smith, it is.
Wow, I forgot you're just a huge.
Well, I mean, 5.2 is pretty solid, and Geno Geno is the ultimate at. So okay, the show's almost over. I'm getting us too far afield. Do you know who Pitching Ninja is?
No,
by any chance? It's a
no
Twitter
idea.
account. They're like, it's just gifs of sick pitches, and there's some pitchers who like are always on Pitching Ninja, like the sickest slider, the hardest breaking slider you've ever seen, the most unhittable sweeper you've ever seen. And you go to their baseball reference, like he has a 5.3.
Okay, I see. Yeah, right.
That's kind of how Geno Smith is. I feel like no one else in the league can make this throw. And then you look at the rest of the stats.
God, yeah, I actually I hate to agree with you, but that actually does sound right. Because it's like this disgusting throw from Geno, and he threw for 140 yards and 2 interceptions.
He looked off 5 safeties on one play.
Right.
Hit the sickest throw you've ever seen, and then he lost a fumble in the red zone the next day.
Yeah, oh well. 7 for 27 in the red zone last year. I'm sorry, inside the 10-yard line last year. That's crazy. Like, that has to get better. I'm sorry.
Does it? That's Geno, man. That's the third down sack taker. That's the fumbler we've always known. That's Geno.
I mean, I didn't even look into fumbles and sacks in that part of the field for him. I'm just saying, as far as when he got the ball out of his hands, it didn't go well. Brock Bowers is a good weapon. I think Jacoby Myers is a good weapon. I also maybe am putting too much trust in our guy Chip Kelly. I kind of think Chip Kelly's offense could be nice and efficient and fun for fantasy, but I do think he's a regression candidate.
Chip Kelly's one of the ultimate fall forward again football figures of the 21st century. Finally, he had an NFL team at Ohio State last year, so it went well.
I see.
But Chip is a inner ring fell forward again Hall of Famer. Chip Kelly, by the way. We'll do one final one.
Okay.
I think this one. I think this is a pretty obvious regression candidate, Baker Mayfield. I don't think many people are projecting to throw for 41 touchdowns again. But how bad could it get, Denny?
I think him not being a top 12 quarterback, I don't want to say it's locked in, but I feel pretty confident.
His ADP is horrendous. Just horrendous.
Now, we talk a lot on the show about this game being too sharp, fantasy managers being too sharp. They're not being sharp about Baker Mayfield.
No.
You're talking about 7.5% touchdown rate last year. That's way higher than his 5% rate over his career. He hadn't eclipsed a 5% touchdown rate since 2020 when he was in Cleveland. His green zone, meaning inside the 10, touchdown production was outrageous. He completed 35 of 48 passes for 17 touchdowns in that part of the field. That's a 37% touchdown rate. Mike Evans is a nice weapon to have down there, and maybe he's just good at catching touchdowns. Like, that's just how it goes. And so that'll continue. I think banking on tons of touchdown production from Baker Mayfield, and along with all the rushing stuff that he had last year, which is very precarious, I feel like.
It is. He's begging to get hurt.
I'm fine fading him completely where he's going in drafts.
I think an ADP could live in infamy. Infamy. Could be Baker Mayfield going ahead of Patrick Mahomes. Some services, Mahomes is ahead of Baker Mayfield, but everyone seems like to not be accounting for like almost guaranteed regression with Baker Mayfield. And then drafting Mahomes as a positive regression is not at all possible for the best player in the league.
I'm with you as a Mahomes hater. I'm with you. So.
That's good to hear. So Denny's got that touchdown regression article up on the site. You have 10 seconds to describe your other article. 10, 9, 8.
I wrote about kickers. Check it out before they censor it and take it down. No, it's on rotoworld.com.
Denny, if the kicker article, people genuinely do demand it. So check that out. Check out everything else. We are blurbing up a storm at rotoworld.com. For Denny Carter, I'm Patrick Daugherty. We'll be back with our friend and colleague Kyle Dvorak on Thursday.